All right, we'll get started here in just a moment. If you are a student, please make sure you use the sign-up sheet to show that you attended today, because I have a feeling that's going to end up being important. I'll wander less during the actual presentation so that we can make sure that everyone can see the screen super effectively throughout the whole thing. And we'll get started here in just about one more minute as we get the last folks who are probably logging on, catching up. All right, I just successfully got an activity ring, so I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm going to go ahead and get started. So let's get this going. It is now essentially just about 6:02. Students, please get seats. Come on, let's go. Get seats, let's go. There are many, many seats. Quickly, get into the seats. All right, so welcome to the pre-travel FRC 2026 meeting. The goal of this meeting is to tell you about how we travel, how travel works, largely how competitions work. We want our students, our mentors, and our parents to all understand how this works so that it can be really clear about how we do this, because we do this thing, I would say, a little bit differently than many, many other groups on campus, and we want to make sure that you know about it. So, quick tangent before we jump straight into it. I realize that you may or may not be seeing Dean Kamen in the news from time to time. Right now, you may see him more in the future as well. What I want to remind you is that FIRST is bigger than any one individual. We are beholden to the values of FIRST. We do it because of those values and not because of Dean Kamen. So, with that, I want to talk to you about when we travel, what are our core values and philosophies and why they are so important to us. And so, with that, first thing I want you to be aware of, especially if you're new, if you're old, you've heard this one before, we call this GOBO, good behavior only. It is a key concept inside of our trip spaces. It is a standard because when we go and we travel, we are representing a variety of different individuals, including our school, our sponsors, families, and various communities. It is really important to us that when we go out and do our thing, that we understand how important it is to be representing folks at wherever we go. There's a lot of different people involved in this space, and not only is it a standard, but it's also a mindset. This is a professional trip that we are going on. When we travel, it is not because we're taking a vacation. We are going so that we can compete. Specifically, we are competing at a FIRST robotics competition, all right? It is a long day of a lot of things, and there's lots of different things to do and to see. It's really critical that you understand that while we are at competition, we are at competition. We are doing competition-related things, and when we're not at competition, we're really just getting ready to go back to competition. So there is a lot of fun to be had, but remember, it is not a vacation. It is a trip focused around our competition. Also, GOBO is a responsibility. By maintaining good behavior only, you are protecting our ability to compete in the future and our reputation as well. When we travel together, you're all going to be wearing overclocked gear. People are not going to see you as just you. They're going to see you as overclocked. For some of them, it may be the only time they get to interact with overclocked, and you will be the standard by which they measure our entire team. So it is really important, that GOBO concept, and of course, the core value of FIRST itself, gracious professionalism. Reminding you that that is working hard while respecting each other, valuing the total possible outcome that comes from collaborating with others, doing our best to be our best, and support those around us to function at their best. When we are off at competitions, one of our major goals needs to be not only doing everything we can to do the best we can, but making sure everyone around us is also being the best that they can be. That's what makes the first community so special, right? It's not about beating everyone else out. It's not being better than everybody else. It is about raising up an entire community of young tech leaders, educators, and all sorts of folks engaged in that same STEM space. Woo, good words. All right, so along those lines, here are some things that are inside of our philosophy and against it. So starting with against it, we don't save seats. Saving blocks of seats is not okay in the first world. Your team will get into a lot of trouble with it. You get a bad reputation for it. Don't do it. The event organizers are going to ask us to not do it. We're not going to do it. All right, so don't save seats. You're going to feel like you want to save seats. Don't save big blocks of seats. Obviously, you know, someone sitting right next to you, like they're going to come back. Sure, you can hold on to that seat for them, but you can't save a whole row or something like that. That's why when we get into the stands, it's really important that there are many of us in the stands to help hold the places that we want. Look around right now. Look at how many of you there are. I know you're all scattered across various seats, but imagine you all had to sit in about 4 rows, okay? So you need to be paying attention to how many seats it takes to hold our whole team as well. So be together in the stands when you can. Backchatter mocking. It will get back to the judges. It will get back to the volunteers. It will get back to the other teams. If you've been in first long enough, you all have a story about overhearing somebody say something about your team or another team, or maybe even if you've been volunteering. Like, it's amazing what people will say and not even realize who they're saying in front of. Don't be that person. This goes for everyone involved when they come to a competition, our fans included, right? First is not about laughing at someone's robot that fell over, all right? First is not about mocking a team that isn't doing so well. We've been that team, all right? So when we go, it's about boosting people up, not bringing others down. Don't do foods in the stands. There are a lot of different places to eat. We feed you really well on these trips, or at least we try to. I think we do a really good job. So please, just don't eat in the stands. It turns out that usually when you eat in the stands, you spill in the stands, everything gets sticky, everything goes underneath everything, then we have to spend more time cleaning it up and all of those things. There are a lot of different places to eat. Pretty much everything we're gonna be going to, you can go and eat in other places. I know at Port Hueneme, there's gonna be like these various benches and tables and stuff here, especially here. OMG, if you are at the San Diego district event at Francis Parker and you are eating in the stands in the new gym, I will tell every athletics person I know about it. Good luck. All right, so, all right, 4. Things we are for. Cheering for everyone, not just us. Cheering is not something we're always good at, even for ourselves. I would encourage you to consider how you can get the spirit going. Cheering is awesome. It's so much more fun to be driving and doing things out there and getting to hear, you know, your fans, your team behind you. It's also a great opportunity to show how much you love other teams. We have a lot of cool San Diego teams. I think it's awesome when we get to cheer for other teams as well. I encourage you to try to jump into some cheering situations with other teams. It's a great way to make friends and build bridges. A big part of being inside of the First community, like one of the best things that you can do for yourself inside of the First community is get to know members of the First community. We have really experienced mentors. We have students who have passions and interests just like you. We have a lot of folks inside of this community that have built amazing machines that you can learn from, right? This is the way you build your network. This is the way when you leave high school and you're out in college, this is the way you find new friends who have similar passions and things like that. It's the way that you make our program stronger as well. So make some friends, and of course, support all. When we are at an event, one of the hallmarks of our team is that we bring more stuff than we usually need, because we want to give it away to other teams. We want to support other teams getting good work done. We want to look for those opportunities to help a team actually have an autonomous period. We want to look for those opportunities to help a team build something that we know how to do, right? So look for those opportunities, look for those ways to support. Remember that if a team is not functioning, it is our problem, all right? So we always want to solve those things. All right, logistics. Remember that when we are out and about, it's not just us. This is especially important at the hotel. Please respect the public and other guests. Don't be just racing down hallways, yelling and screaming, being so loud that people can't sleep. You need to understand that we get to stay in nice places because we tend to be good guests. If we're not good guests, we don't get to stay in nice places. So please respect the public and other guests. There will be a room check each night. So we do check that all the students are in their rooms. We do make sure that they're in the correct rooms. We, say goodnight, close the door, and once that happens, the idea is that there is no leaving that room. Barring emergency situation, your room starts burning down. You should get out of it. But otherwise, you're in that room until the morning, and it is really important to do that because a big part of what we do when we travel is we have a strong eye towards safety. When we are traveling, please move about in pairs whenever possible. If you're inside the venue or something like that, you can probably go solo from the pit to the bathroom or something like that. But in general, we prefer you to be with someone whenever you can. If you're wandering around, and certainly you're not wandering around outside of the venue on your own, we really need to know where you are. We'll speak more about that again. But whenever possible, move about in larger groups. Safety is important, and you get some of that safety from being in numbers. You will all have the ability to communicate with us effectively through the chat, and you also need to respond to your chat. But we'll talk more about chat later. Punctuality, be on time every time. All right, we started this a little bit later. Part of that was because we also had a virtual component, and we wanted to make sure everybody could log in and all the things or whatever. But know that, okay, I don't know who it's gonna be. You can look at each other. I know you know who it is. But look at each other. You all need to wake up. You need to wake up on time. You need to help each other get out of bed on time. It is really important that we get going at the right time. When you are not punctual about any of these things that we do, it throws off big timetables. Look at how many people we are, right? It is not easy to move effectively this number of students and mentors from place to place to place, right? If you are off by a minute, it creates big problems, slowdowns. Don't be late. If you're on time, you're almost late, right? Okay, so don't be late, especially in the morning. All right, volunteers, okay. These events do not happen without volunteers. Not every volunteer is gonna have a great day every day. Not every volunteer is gonna be super nice to you every single time. But every single volunteer gave up a ton of their time to come and help make this event possible. Please be nice to the volunteers. Please respect the volunteers. Please say thank you to them whenever you can. These are some amazing people who, a lot of them, again, doing amazing things, really don't need to be spending the time with us on the weekend, but they do. And they love it, and they love you folks. So take the time to say thank you, take the time to support them. If you see that there is something that you can do to lend a hand whenever you can. Now, bonus shout out, especially for all the parents watching or here now, we always need more adult volunteers. There's a good amount of training that will make it really easy for you to do lots of different tasks. We can help you get there if you're interested. Specifically, I know that we are still looking for robot inspectors and refs. If you've maybe you've refed some softball before and you're like, I know how rules work and I know how kids work. Guess what? You could ref a robot game and it would be amazing. I'm also just gonna put it out there that the more Parker community we have involved inside of the volunteer space, honestly, in my opinion, the more clout the team gets. So if you're like, I can't mentor, I don't have the time, but maybe you're like, once some weekend, I could do it. This is the ask then, okay? So think about it, volunteering, it's super fun, they'll feed you well, they'll take care of you. If you field reset, I'll have you. It'll be super fun. That's only true in districts. Sorry, only true in San Diego district. But the bottom line is we would love to have any adult volunteers. If you know an adult volunteer who would like to get involved, send them the link, and we'll have the link available. All right. Team unity and vibe. Okay. It's important to understand that when we are at competition, we are about being a team, okay? It is more we than over me, okay? We want you focused on the whole team and not just yourself. We don't want you just thinking about, okay, what do I, you gotta be thinking about how am I participating, what am I doing, right? But we also want you thinking about like, what's good for the team right now, right? What does the team need from me right now? How can I make the team better right now? How do I support my teammates, right? Make sure you're thinking about that and not just thinking about yourself. Now I mentioned this, this part here too. This includes the mentors and the parents. When we go to competition, first is a pretty different competition, and like usually if you go to like, I don't know, like if you just go to a soccer match, it's pretty much gonna be like whatever about that soccer team is doing with that other soccer team, right? They're not really judged on like, I don't know, like people might talk about it, but they're not really like judged on their fans and stuff or whatever. Like it's not like how well the team does is completely specific to the fans. Although some fans would tell you it's very important that what they're doing. So I get that. But at a robotics competition, how we are in the stands, how we purport and carry ourselves at the competition, whether we are parents, fans, friends, mentors, it's not just gonna be what the students do, it's gonna be what we do as well. And I can tell you very frankly, as somebody who's volunteered and been a volunteer at these competitions, like, I can't believe the number of times I've seen a parent just be like, why are you messing it up for these kids so bad right now? Why are you being this way, right? So please keep that in mind. Like, our vibe comes from all of us, all right? If you're wearing overclock stuff, you're part of our vibe. Integrity. Don't let bad behavior from others make you bad. Like I said, it's easy. Like, you're angry, someone's angry, they're angry, they make you angry, you make them angry, you make the next person over angry, right? Don't let bad make you bad. Just because somebody is misbehaving, just because somebody is out of line, don't let that become the way that you have to then be. Help us sort that out. Let your mentors know so we can get involved and sort that out, right? Get your team involved so we can sort that out. But don't let bad behavior make you bad, right? So maintain your integrity. Trust and believe in your team. The most important thing about having a good team is that your teammates believe in you. When teammates don't feel like they are believed in, or you don't believe in your teammates anymore, that's when teams break down. You really need to be thinking about that throughout the entirety of the process. That is the strongest thing that you can do for a team, is to trust in each other. It's really hard to do sometimes, but it is pretty much the thing that makes a good team a good team. All the little things clean and pack together. So you're gonna hear me say a few different things on this later on too, but all the little things matter. You can't, when we go to the competition, like everything matters, right? So like, how clean is the pit? How clean are the stands? Are we the trash bugs? Are we the ones who put away all the stuff? Are we the ones who stuck around and helped everybody put things away? Are we the ones who showed up and helped put up all those things? Are we, like, all of those things matter. All the little things matter. So please clean and pack together. And that also means when we're getting ready for competition. There's a bunch of stuff that needs to happen that's not that exciting and honestly sometimes not that fun to do before you go to competition that you all need to show up for. And yes, I am talking about the pack, okay? But I'm also talking about a lot of other things. You gotta get those things done. All right, okay, this is a key thing that is for all, especially for our mentors and our parents to hear, but also for our students to hear. It's everybody's important thing. We are student-led, mentor-guided. At competitions specifically, we are student-heavy and mentor-light. What that means is when we get to competition, our goal as mentors is to hand you, the students, the reins, give you everything we can to make whatever destiny lies forward for you in the competition to be in your hands as much as possible, right? And that means that the mentors are gonna look for stepping back, which means we need to see the students stepping up. If something's not getting done, we're probably gonna hound you on it. We're gonna ask you to get it done. And in some rare, terrible cases, we may even do it, but we shouldn't. We should tell you to do it. You should do it. And if you're the student leaders, you need to make sure it gets done. And if you're not the student leaders, you need to help the student leaders make sure it gets done. The students need to do the work. When we get to the competition, that needs to be a thing, okay? If the students step up, the mentors will step back, okay? So that's what I want to see. This is especially important, and this is one of the reasons we do this, is I want to make sure that all the mentors know and all the parents know too. Judging. Eventually, at some point, there will be judges around our pit or some other part of our team. The only people who should be speaking to judges are students. All right? You can say thank you to a judge, you can have some passing comment, but like, you are not meant to talk to judges, right? You don't talk to judges about the team, you can still be personal, you can still be nice, you can say thank you, but you don't talk to judges, okay? That's the job of the students. And in fact, there should be near to zero adults around when judges are around. If judges start coming up to our pit and about to the students, you should all see all the adults fading off into the background, leaving it alone. That's the students' purview, all right? For us, we train our students on all the things. That's what's been happening every Saturday. There will be other training sessions for very specific things, okay? If you are a trained student, then you should be someone involved in one of these various things, depending on what it is you're trained in. It's also important that when we do the judging, one of our goals is to have many different students talking to judges so that we have a very clear picture of having a lot of trained, gifted, smart, capable students, all right? That is one of the things we do aim at. Judges want to hear all sorts of different things. If they only hear one thing from one person, then they'll start to just think it's just that one person. And there's a different vibe that they want to hear from like a rookie than they want to hear from a veteran, right? And we want to make sure that they get all of those pieces and parts. We'll be talking a lot more about that. And if you're coming to judge training on Saturdays, you'll learn about that. If you're not, you're probably not going to be involved in a lot of talking to judges, okay? You see where I'm going with this? Like if you're trained, you're trained. Okay, students, set the tone, pace, and execution. Okay, at the event, the students are the ones who are driving the team forward, getting all the things done. That is our end goal. For the mentors, we'll provide some critical feedback. We think you're doing something wrong. We think you need to know about something. We'll tell you. We'll give you some feedback. But in the end, the student leaders, the students involved need to make the decisions, need to set the tone, need to execute. Mentors, of course, will always support. And if there's a discipline issue, hopefully there won't be, but if there was a discipline issue, that's where mentors get involved as well. Parents, you're there to cheer, you're there to spectate, and I wrote down, elevate the vibe. Because the best thing that our supporters, parents, friends, family can do is basically focus on making this a super fun, super exciting, engaged competition. Come see the things, all the stuff, check in on things, but know that the team all throughout the day is operating in a lot of different ways. Don't get right into the middle of the mix. Don't tell them what they need to be doing, right? You feel like you want to say something to the students about a particular thing, you can go talk to a mentor, and that mentor can help figure out whether or not we need to say it to the students, all right? But that's kind of the delineation of some of those pieces of that puzzle. All right, training. We talked about this already. All roles require training. On our team, we are moving away from a model of like, these are the untrained tasks. If you want to do something for us at competition, there is training involved, all right? Maybe someone can come up with something, but even then I'm probably gonna be like, we should probably do some training to make sure you're ready for that. So let's go with that. Be where you are expected, don't go where you're not expected. This is simply to say that this is especially true at competition. There are often clusterings and small meetings. They look informal and they look natural, like you should just walk up to them and get involved or something like that, but many of them are not. And so if you're not expected at a thing, my recommendation is don't just walk up and get involved in a thing. Now, you know, if someone, usually there's a mentor nearby who's actually one of their main jobs might be to be like, no, like step back, we're doing a thing. And so know that we have a very structured approach to like robot handoff. That's not something people can just jump in on and be like, hey, what's going on, right? That we have a very structured approach. Don't just wander into that. Scouts will have a very strong approach to like where they're supposed to be, how they're supposed to be interacting. Don't just jump down and sit in the middle of that. Impact practice is going to be happening at some point. There's going to be, so these are all various different things. So I'm just trying to say that there's a lot of different moving pieces and parts. If you see a lot of students being pretty focused with a mentor, or maybe even without a mentor, chances are they're probably trying to get something done. Be very cautious about kind of approaching that situation. You may be approaching a very formal meeting, even if it looks kind of informal. Shift attendance. There will be shifts for a variety of roles at the competition. It's important that when your shift is over, that you yield to whoever's coming in for your shift. You want to be punctual to your shift. Again, that goes back to being on time for everything. Once in a while, there'll be a reason that you can't be punctual. For instance, like one of the more typical things is like, right as a shift change was about to happen, a whole bunch of judges showed up, and now everyone's kind of stuck in that shift, and they can't get out of it, and nor should they, because they should let the judges finish up before they walk away. But then as soon as that ends, they should walk out, right? So there are situations where that can happen. What is most important, though, is that we have a very good idea about where you are. If you're not showing up for a shift as much as possible. I put that in big caps at the end, important. We must know where you are. You need to understand that if you don't show up for a shift, not only did you not show up for a shift, which is definitely messing with the rest of your teammates, which is already not a good thing, but you have now fallen into the category of where are you? And once you're in that category, big problems can start to happen for the overall team, and especially for us mentors who are working the trip with you. We need to know where you are. Especially if you think you are late for something, you should be aware that you should be looking at that chat, okay? We are going to try to figure out where you are. You need to be aware that we need to know where you are. One of the fastest ways to not be asked to come and join us for anything in the future is to wander away, not be where you're supposed to be, mess it all up, okay? So please, please, please don't let us have to go into that kind of panic state of figuring it out. All right, pit operations. Accessible. This is just some additional things about our pit. The pit is where the robot goes when it's not on the field. It's where repairs happen. It's where maintenance happens. It's also where we showcase all of the cool things that, that we can. We also have cool things elsewhere, but it's a big part of sort of the showcase of the team. The key thing here is that we really want to keep it inviting to the public and the judges. What's a little awkward about this is like when we say the public and the judges, what we mean is we really want it to be inviting to the judges, and we'd like everybody else who's not necessarily super closely tied to the team to only see it briefly so that other people can see it. This means that if you're a student, if you're not supposed to be in the pit, we really don't want you in the pit. That's why it says pit access, only to specifically assigned students. These are the people who are on the shift. Once in a while, someone will be specifically invited to be like, hey, who knows this not thing the best? Or who knows this particular software task the best? Or who knows this red chameleon that's on the desk the best? I don't know, I'm just making up random things now. But the point is that sometimes someone will be invited specifically. The pit is, because it is a showcase place, it's also not a hangout or a resting place. So the pit always needs to look like dynamic, alive, and ready. So I'm also going to tell you that if you are too tired to be in the pit, you should let whoever is in charge of the pit, which I think is going to be Sophie, but whoever's in charge of the pit in that moment, I don't know, there's multiple folks, but whoever's in charge of the pit in that moment, like if you're too tired to be there, tell somebody and leave the pit, okay? Because we don't want to look like we are tired and non-dynamic and not ready to talk to people and all of those things. And it's okay to be too tired and non-dynamic and need a break, all right? So, but you gotta talk to your teammates. That being said, all of this is done while still being cordial and inviting. And yes, if you're a parent, it's okay to come by the pit, take a picture, chat with a student really briefly, but what we don't want is like long hangouts of like 5 or 10 parents standing in front of the pit, or even 5 or 10 mentors standing in front of the pit. Like, we want to keep that space as clear as possible, nor 5 or 10 students hanging out in front of the pit. You get where I'm going with this. Keep it open, keep it inviting. All right, the last thing is I put abide by the direction of the student leaders. Again, students, you are being asked to execute at the event. You are the leaders. Your mentors will respect what you ask us for. If we are in the wrong space, politely ask us to depart or leave. And I would imagine that in most cases we will. And if we don't, you can politely talk to another mentor who will help with that situation, whether it be a student, a parent, or another mentor. All right? But this also means students, abide by your student leaders. If we have assigned a student a task to be a leader in a space, then we are entrusting them to help manage that space, right? So abide by your student leaders. All right, communication protocols. Primary tool, sorry. Did that change? What happened? Okay. Okay, anyways. Communication protocols. All right, the primary tool, we still use chat in the Google space for students and mentors. So students and mentors can expect to have basically all team communication happening in our Google space. We use, at competition, there's a channel called 2485 Competition. If you're not in it already, you can totally go join it. Please recommend finding it. If you're like, I just can't find it, maybe a friend is in it, and they can type at your name and drag you into the channel. Wouldn't that be nice of them? They're so kind for them to do that for you. And then know that when we're at competition, because we do wake up early each morning, which, by the way, please get some sleep when you need to sleep, because we will be waking up early, and we will be, yelling at you about when you're not waking up early. All right? So 6 a.m., notifications need to be turned on so we can reach you if we need to. Don't worry, by 10 p.m., you should be in bed. So no need to turn on notifications past 10 p.m. because you'll be in bed, right? So make sure that when you do go to the competitions that you have those on. Polls are very common, especially in the morning. We'll frequently be like, hey, who's up right now? And then everybody will give us a thumbs up except for one room. And then, we'll also have a channel for parents. We'll do Slack for parents, so we do have an old Slack. We're not going to have students in that, but we will have that going for parents and alums, and a few of our mentors will basically be pushing things from the chats into that Slack channel, and also chatting with parents and alums inside of that Slack channel. So we'll have that. We will post that, and probably in an email, so that parents can join that Slack if they choose to. Yeah. The parents and alums are not required to join anything, but they are welcome to do so. Again, though, notice the not for student use. Okay, so we don't want any students in there. Please, students, do not go in there. It can create way too many problems for us, so please don't be in there. I will add, although maybe it's on a different slide, most of our competitions this year are happening during breaks, which is nice in some ways, not nice in other ways. One of the key things I do want to remind you all the students of, if you are missing classes or if you're needing some assistance managing your class stuff, remember that your academics still do come first. And if you need to tell some of us mentors once in a while, like, hey, I got to study for this test, or hey, I got a thing going on, you need to do that, okay? But also, please plan ahead as well, right? Like, if we start, the one that is not inside of a break would be champs in Houston. So if that direction starts to start happening, and APs start happening, and all the things start happening, you do need to plan ahead. So start thinking about that. It's really important to think about what does all of those things mean. Please, for some of you too, it's probably just a matter of also like just being aware, like robotics does mean you probably have to spend a little extra time planning out like when do I get my homework done, when do I do the things, right? Make sure you're even doing that now if you're having some issues with it. I know some seniors probably aren't worried about it at all. Congratulations, seniors, you're all doing great. All right. So let's see. Oh, nope. Things didn't save. Ah, I gotcha. That's what happened. I didn't refresh, and that's what's happened. Awesome, cool. Let's see if there's anything else I missed. There probably was. Really quick. So, quick. Nope, everything looked good there. That was fantastic. I mentioned the food thing, right? We got some volunteer stuff. Look at that. Ooh, wow, you guys getting like a fresh review session. Cool, and look at that. Oh, it's so exciting. And nope, we said all that stuff. That's great. Communication protocol. See, there we mentioned the teachers this time, and we mentioned the Slack. There we go. So here's some important dates. All right, so here are some important dates. I will point out that on the Parker portal, we do have a calendar. This slide deck will also be on the Parker portal, so you should be able to find things there. This is when all of the various competitions are. There is a broader document, too, that goes into details around the Port Hueneme event. I might open that in just a moment for a brief moment. These are the various events coming up, so just to make yourself aware of them. Then that is the Port Hueneme document that I'll open in just a moment. One last thing that I didn't mention, but I'm going to mention it right now, just because there's even examples right now. All right. When we go to competition, pet peeve for Mr. Griggs, all right, is having your cell phone out during the competition and not just for chatting with your team. The only reason, really, for your cell phone to be out is because you're exchanging awesome information with somebody from another team, you're sending a chat to our team, or reading about how well or not well we did in a match, knowing that we'll try again and we'll do better, or not, but we'll try again. But you aren't on your phone, just whatever doom scrolling is. I'm not that cool, I don't know. And whatever game you're playing, whatever idle game you're playing, whatever YouTube you're looking at, right? Like none of those things. And the following places are the worst place to do it. Don't do it in the pit. Don't just make it the only thing you're doing in the stands, right? Unless you're doing some scouting stuff for us, right? But the bottom line is, you look like a lazy team when you are on the phone. You look disengaged and lazy. I'm just telling you, that's what you look like, all right? Okay, so don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah, we'll remind ourselves of that some more next time. All right, let's see. I think that is about all of the specific things. I think there might be one thing I'm forgetting because I thought about it a moment ago, but I think at this point, all I'm gonna do is briefly open up this form, which will also, again, be in the Parker portal. This form will say things, this document basically says things like, where are we going to be traveling to? Again, this will be in the Parker portal. It will point out things like, eventually the live stream will be here. There'll be a reminder about bringing safety glasses. You have to bring your own safety glasses. It's a really important part of the pack. There'll be reminders about the fact that we like to look professional at our events, so please, no yoga pants. You can wear them around the hotel, but not at the event. We need you to bring your competition shirts. We want to look as overclocked as possible when we're at the event. You need to bring, your various toiletries and things like that. Port Hueneme has been rainy from time to time. A raincoat's not a bad idea, possibly. It is relatively cool inside of the Port Hueneme area. It's in a big warehouse, but there's a lot of wind, and if I'm being honest, you should probably wear a jacket. You might even want to do layers so that you can peel them off or put them on as you need. There's going to be more details about all of the agendas of the day in terms of like all of those things. This document is a live document, so it will get updated and added, and then there's an agenda at the end that was basically the talk from today. So that's all of those things. I'll see if I can briefly open this up, and then, if I can't, maybe I can, maybe I can't, maybe. Okay, cool. Inside of the Parker portal, again, on the bulletin board is where you're going to find a lot of these things. We're going to add a few more links up here. Once this closes up, you'll see many important links over here, including this one right here, which will be the link you'll use to register for the team. If you haven't yet been accepted into the team, but you're so sure that you registered for the team, it's likely because you didn't complete your consent and release form. All right, so we will start messaging people to remind them of that as well. But my recommendation is everybody should consider going into the first area and making sure their consent and release form. I'm speaking specifically for students. Mentors, you're actually doing really good, so well done. But again, we'll reach out if you're not, but you're really doing good. All right, with that, I think I would like to take any questions or have any additions. We have some microphones so that we can hear it on the stream. So here, wait, don't wait, microphone coming down to Nathan.
Did we drop the black shoes requirement? We never had a black shoes requirement?
I don't think we did.
Yo, there's no way.
We've never formally had a black shoes requirement.
I don't believe it.
It's suggested and looks better when you're all in black.
That does remind me, seniors are allowed to do yellow pants if they're so inclined. Yellow pants is a thing seniors are allowed to do. Only seniors, though. That is a senior move, and that's their choice. Other hands, questions? Right over there, if you please. Mrs. Greenspan, over.
Don't assume you can leave a bag in the pit. There is no room.
Yes, that is really important. In fact, largely, please strive to come to the event with as little material carried with you as possible. Or if you're willing to bring things, try to be ready to carry them all day. Maybe you have a walking harness. Maybe you've got a giant bandolier like a Wookiee. Maybe you've got a bag that never comes off your back. Or maybe you just dress in some pants, put your phone in your pocket, and you don't worry about it. Because like you really, honestly, you don't need that much. Maybe you need a water bottle, but then clip it to a belt loop, right? You'd be so cool, you'd be so light and airy. Oh, it'd feel so good. You're like, what about my laptop? You don't need a laptop. Okay, one or two of you need a laptop. But most of you don't need a laptop, right? There's very little that you really need to bring to the competition, and there's really nowhere to store it. And like the stands are a bad place to store it. Can't store them in the stands. It's way too busy. The pit has no room. Can't store it there. So if you have something, you kind of have to carry it like all day long. I personally dislike that I have to carry around medical forms all day long and a whole bunch of other things as a chaperone. But y'all aren't chaperones. You don't have to. You could just not. So anyways, recommendation. Travel light, lighter, lightest. All right, someone else? Yell.
Reminder to fill out the pit role preferences form. I sent in announcements like 3 times or something, but me and Sophie need that to make the schedule. And it is overdue, so if you do fill it out, like we need you to fill it out, but if you do fill it out late, then we're probably just not going to give you priority and you might not necessarily get what you want, but we still need to know what you prefer. And then some other things with the schedule. Sophie and I are going to be working on it like over the next couple of weeks, and I think we're hoping to send it out like the week before comp or so, hopefully. But basically, the moment we send it out, you should make sure that everything looks good and that you're going to be there for the times that we've given you roles, and you should let us know if there's an issue immediately. You shouldn't be letting us know the morning of the competition because that is incredibly difficult, and if you need your roles changed or your shifts changed and you're not going to be there, that affects every other person on the team, and it makes it really complicated. Also, please understand we're doing our best to make everything fair. So if there is something that you're not super happy about, you can talk to us about it politely. But if you're just saying it's not fair, I don't want to do this, we're probably not going to change it. So yeah.
This goes to students, but also honestly, especially parents. It's really easy, or also witnessing FTC parents. It's really easy to be oh my God, why is the robot not doing well? What are the students doing? But like Mr. Griggs said, please trust your team. We're working on it. We saw the same match that you did. We understand that something's going wrong. So please, it's really important that people in the stands are being very cheery and definitely cheering for the team even when things are going wrong, or cheering for other teams. So yeah, trust your team, and the cheering is super important because Nathan's our big cheer and he's gonna be in the pit. So we need everyone to step up, and it's really depressing when there's no one cheering.
Yes, it's kind of sad, and it makes us look bad when we only cheer for 1 out of every 3 matches because the cheering person is there. I'll try my best to make it though.
All right, do we have any questions from the chat by any chance? I think we have limited access to the chat, so we're just acknowledging to them that we have limited access to the chat. If you are in the chat and you had a question, we probably didn't see it or weren't able to see it or just were difficult to manage it.
I haven't seen any come through. We have 16 people on our live stream, and I haven't seen any questions or comments come through.
All right, sounds good. One more here, sorry.
More of an announcement, just to let you know, there will be full hoodies and full zip hoodies on the Spirit store. They're actually already on there. If you have friends or family that want to order one, or you yourself want to order one, I would advise waiting just a day or two, because hopefully they'll be on sale for a week so that we have a chance to all put our orders in and hopefully get them before competition. Just be on the lookout for that. We'll announce it in announcements as soon as that sale is on. Thanks.
All right, are there any other questions?
I think just keep watching announcements for forms. There's more forms coming to an announcement near you.
This is a good point. Yes, this is a deep time of forms and announcements. I just want to reiterate, too, that importance of filling out that role form. That's really, really critical. If you haven't done it, you need to do that tonight. Make that one of your priority items. If you haven't done it, make sure you take care of it tonight. That's to every student that hasn't done the role form. It is in announcements multiple times. Oh, one more question in the back.
How does t-shirt trading work? Do the students get an extra shirt or anything like that to barter with?
We typically don't at districts, but we typically look towards the end of the season when we have excess merch and we know how much excess merch we have. We can talk about extra t-shirts for trading, but just know you get 2 t-shirts, and if you trade a t-shirt, then you have 1 t-shirt, and competitions are warm.
We have, I believe, done some, I don't know the full answer yet, but we will get you a full answer that we feel communicates well what we think we're able to do. We're trying to facilitate, but at the same time, yeah. Good question. Good question. I'm going to leave it at that right now, I think. Sorry. All right. With that nebulous, slightly nebulous answer, I will simply acknowledge that it is 6:48. We are ending a little ahead, which is perfect, but we never end it this way. We, of course, end it this way. We are! We are! Well done. All right. Let's get back to it.
Also, students, make sure your name is on the sign-up sheet if you are here tonight. We are keeping track of this, especially if you're traveling with the team.